Yo, what is going on? Feels like an eternity. But tonight we're here to chop it up. As you're coming into the room, just let us know you're here, and then we'll get the show started. Pretty excited to be back. Had some technical difficulties, but we're here, and tonight we're gonna have a nice show. You know how we do when we chop it up, current events, everything that's going on around you. And tonight I have a special co-host who I'll be introducing shortly. A special guest co-host, Miss Angelica Reyes, the regular schmegular. We see you. And hoping to have a spirited conversation. And we'll be looking for your comments in the chat. So I hope everybody's ready. I'm going to run this track and we're going to get this show started. All right. Let's go. Ooh. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A. And tonight we're going to chop it up. Just want to say good evening to my baby sis, my son fools, Josiah and Asa. Make sure you behave yourself or no Super Mario for you. All right? We got to be good boys. We got to behave ourselves or we don't get to do the things that we like to do. So make sure you behave yourself. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight I want to welcome a very, very special guest to the show. A co-host who was the host of her own podcast. Now she has come back to New York City, her hometown from Brooklyn, and she came and gave me her time today, thankfully. And she's going to help me chop it up tonight. So I hope everybody else can enjoy the banter that we're going to have. She's a great personality. She's the host of Gumshoe Weekly. It was a mystery murder sort of podcast. I know I messed that up, but she was a great host, and she's on tonight with me. Everybody, welcome to the set, Miss B. Chanel. I guess I tore up your intro, so you're just sitting there like, mother effer, you messed up. How you doing, young lady?
I'm great. I'm doing fantastic.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I'm home. That's all that matters.
How does it feel to be back in New York City?
Like I never left. No, you know what? I did leave.
Yes, you did.
Nobody here is friendly.
Nobody here is what?
Nobody here is friendly.
Nobody here is friendly.
Nobody smiles. Nobody waves hello. And when I went to Florida, I was like, everybody is so nice here. And I came back and I was like, what the? Everybody's so fucking rude. What is wrong with you?
You don't remember what it was like to live in New York City, huh? You got jaded now?
Yeah. Like I go to work and I'm like, hi. And they're all like, what is wrong with her? I'm like, I lived in Florida for 5 years. Sorry.
Was it 5 years?
5 years.
Wow. Let me ask you, what's one of the biggest things that you miss about Florida?
Having the beach at my disposal.
Okay.
That's it.
Like year round? Like, is it real as people say, like you can go to the beach year round?
I mean, you could stand at the beach, but you're not getting that water. It's cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say like April, May, probably you're heading to the beach and it's all good?
To sit and enjoy the view, yeah.
Oh,
you're going to bring like a sweater. Like you can kind of do that out here, not in the winter, obviously, but like kind of now you're not really getting in the water.
Right.
But that's the good part. Yeah, it's year round.
Ah, wow. Well, you know what? I would never like to live in Florida. I mean, I would. It's just weird. You know, Florida's weird. When you have people that throw a whole alligator in a drive-thru because somebody messed up their fries, I don't know.
That was definitely one of the reasons we left. Mostly like political views. I just couldn't do it. Wasn't for me.
Okay.
And the Florida man thing is like, it's a legit thing. Those people are a breed of their own.
Being a Floridian is something.
Being a Floridian, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of the people that you know, that I know, that still live in Florida seem to sort of brush that off. Like it's not a big deal to them. And I think it's because they live in denial because they don't want to really deal with the fact that they live in a state that's full of weirdos. And two, they're trying to convince their friends and family to move down there so they'd be closer and don't have to come to New York anymore.
No, New York is definitely where it's at. I wish it wasn't so expensive.
Yeah.
God, it's so expensive to like just live.
Yeah.
To like live is just ridiculously expensive. Like if I could take what I had in Florida and put it here,
you'd be good with that.
I'd be good.
Well, I would definitely take the sunshine from Florida.
Yeah. The weather, the year, not even, because that hot is like a different kind of hot. It's like a hot that's like chunky. It's chunky air hot.
Chunky air.
It's just the air is so thick.
The humidity.
Yeah. It's the humidity. The air is just too much.
Oh, wow.
It like slaps you in the face when you leave. And you don't want to go outside unless you're going to the beach.
Wow. Yeah, on a few. I mean, we've been coming back and forth from New York to Florida for quite some time, so I get it, man. The heat is definitely different out there, and it's different in different parts of Florida.
Yeah,
like going into the Panhandle is a different kind of heat because you have the Gulf, so it's more moist. It's moisture. Well, I shouldn't say moist.
I don't get people's thing with that word, but okay.
No, what's the deal with people in that word moist?
I guess it's like a word that you can like taste and feel. It's not a pretty word, I guess.
It's not a pretty word. Okay.
Yeah.
I get that. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, in honor of my guest today, I'm going to let her take the lead. And she's going to call for the first story that we're going to talk about tonight. So Ms. B. Chanel, what story would you like to start with?
So let's start it off light.
Oh, okay.
Let's start it off light. So everybody can't open Instagram without seeing the Kardashians.
Okay.
Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson, they broke up.
Yes, they did.
I don't really care about them. I don't care about their family. I think it's just interesting. Maybe you can help a long argument in my household.
Okay.
And help us figure this out.
Okay.
Kanye West has been a menace this entire relationship. And then Pete Davidson, he's handled it how he's handled it.
Right.
But I think it's a huge PR stunt. This family doesn't do anything without it being a PR stunt.
But I'm confused. Elaborate on that. I want you to elaborate for the audience what you mean about that.
So every time something major happens with this family, it's usually to cover up something else that that's just happened.
Oh, wow.
So for instance, Pete Davidson. So Kim Kardashian was on SNL in October. Astro World, which if you don't know, that was Travis Scott's big concert, and 300 people, I think 8 people died. 2 people died off the scene. One of them was a kid. It was this really big thing that really didn't look good on the Kardashians because Kylie is with them. Right.
Does Kylie have a kid with him?
She has 2 kids with him.
She has 2? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember when I said I didn't know anything about this family? Whatever. So, it's a PR stunt. Everything this family does is very much strategic.
Okay.
So she's on SNL the month before the Astro World happens. A month later, they're together.
Pete and
Kim.
Oh, wow. 2
complete opposites. You're like, this doesn't even kind of make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
Right.
This dirty little kid from Staten Island with Kim Kardashian. Like, come on, that don't even make no sense.
Well, I think I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I think that for the people who are in Ms. B. Chanel's age group, I think that's very perceptive of her to be looking at the situation from that angle. Good evening to Mr. Samuel Sierra. We see you in the building. I think that people today, even though they're so wrapped up with everything that's going on in politics, I don't think people in your age bracket pay enough attention to how media is used to manipulate, right? So when you say, I feel like this is a PR stunt, or the things that they do are PR stunts to divert attention from other negative things that may be attached to their family, really perceptive on your part. That's very smart on your part, because America is built on PR campaigns. Whenever they want to get shit going, oh, let's go. Let's start beating the drum of war and patriotism, and you know what I mean? So I will give you that. That was very smart of you to pick up on that, and I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's definitely a thing a lot of people notice, especially like you said in my age bracket. That's not like an unknown thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they broke up like a couple weeks ago,
Right.
and they break up same day. Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thomas, who's a trash bag, announced that they had their kid. Like,
wait a minute. All right, Tristan Thompson. Why is Tristan Thompson a trash bag? That's I want to know.
Stays playing that girl. She wants to like save him, and I can make him different. No, baby girl, you can't.
She's a Kardashian.
Is she?
Oh, we on the premise of OJ's daughter still?
I don't know.
She got the big head.
yeah, that's what it is.
Well, let me say this with regards to Tristan Thompson. I feel like Tristan Thompson is a get back for that family, because those girls are always doing well. Let me just say Kim, because she's the focal point.
Yeah.
Kim she's ran through at least 3 basketball teams, and no.
Oh, that's not my business.
No, yeah, like no.
Girl, more power to you.
Like do your thing, whatever. That's you, right? However, with everything else that surrounded their family, I feel like he's acting like a Kardashian. Why be mad at him? Shorty, you know who that dude is. You've watched him play you. Who's the people? He played her with one of her friends, didn't he?
Again, that was a PR stunt.
Oh.
All of these things are, you know what the saying is? The devil works hard, but Kris Jenner works harder. That's like the saying that people go to, because this lady, she puts in work, because that happened, and then they were like a week away from their next 50th season drop. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's very strategic in the way that they're doing it. So that's why I like Kanye. I don't like what he's doing. I think he's a little bit of a hot mess right now.
Okay.
Mental health aside is very serious. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't use that as a crutch to do certain things, I feel like.
Be specific. I want to know what you're talking, because mental health, let me say this. And I've spoken to many people about this topic, especially when dealing with Kanye. And I feel like the level of arrogance that he had, or how people view him as being arrogant, didn't help his cause. So when he became ill, being bipolar is, man, that's the worst thing for somebody who has been arrogant, because your personality is all over the place, like a ping pong ball.
Yeah.
So I have a little more, as mad, or not mad, that's a strong word. As strongly as I disagree with the things that he says or does at times, I feel like I'm a little more empathetic, understanding that he is diagnosed bipolar.
No, of course. That's definitely something that should be taken into consideration. But
right.
Also, there's things you can be doing not in the spotlight.
Right.
I feel like that certain things you should keep private. You shouldn't put all of your business on Front Street. Like when Kim Kardashian and this dude got together, if you've been in this family, you know it's a PR stuff, bro. Why are you going to react to it and be like, I'm going to kill you and get all my fans after? Like, come on, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, those are threats. You can
go to jail for that.
Especially if you have fans, the way a lot of these pop stars and rappers, they have these fans. They're going to retaliate.
Yeah.
And like, it's a part of the culture,
right?
Unfortunately.
Right.
So he put out, when they broke up, Skeet Davidson dead at 28. And then if you look at the bottom, it says, it's real tiny font, something about Kid Cudi.
There was a mention of Kid. Well, I just pulled up the article. It doesn't have it's just clipping. I think this is the tweet, but it just says Skeet Davidson dead at 28. But I don't have the piece of him speaking about Kid Cudi.
It's on that page. You can see it. It's so
it's
tiny.
Really that's the writing right down here. Okay, I see
so
what you're
tiny.
saying. Yeah, I can't get that. Damn it. All right. But but let's talk about that. What is the thing? Let's rewind. First part being the fans and speaking to your fans in a certain way that could possibly bring harm to somebody.
Mhm.
Do you think that people have gotten a little too carried away and overzealous because of social media? And the reason why I asked this is because I was sitting and I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the show. I was sitting in the room of a PR company, a tech PR company, and they were discussing the rollout of Twitter, right? So I was sitting in the room being told there's this new company, Twitter, and it's a social media app, and this is what it does. And I could not for the life of me. I was telling these younger folks, like, this is ridiculous. This sounds retarded.
Oh my God.
I think of it now and I'm like, damn, I should have opened up a Twitter. I probably would have been popped.
Isn't it crazy? All those things you think of, like, oh, I should have put money in Uber. I should have put money in
Right.
all the time. Yeah.
But my point about that was people left to their own devices will really become animals. I mean, essentially.
As good as much bad as these social media platforms can do,
Right.
they can also do so much harm. Wait, no, that's the
yeah.
same thing.
That was a double
As
negative.
As much bad as they do, they can also do really like good things as well.
Yes. Yeah.
But it is all about how you use it. Like, if
Right.
you're a bad person, you're going to use the social media. Of course, it's going to be bad.
Well, and that's my thing. For me, this is America.
Yeah.
We've gotten beyond being being good.
Yeah.
Just think. I think from my perspective, growing up in the time that I did, and coming to certain understandings as I was becoming a man, I already saw this. Like, this cannot. It's like looking at Kanye and Kim get together. This is not going to turn out well. This is not going to turn out well.
Nothing good can come from this.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
So, do you think now? I got to run back to what we were saying. Do you think now, at this point, is there any way for Kanye to sort of, because I can't see him myself because of his illness. I can't see him being a different person. There's no way for somebody who's bipolar, unless they really attack their sickness, to take care of themselves, to sleep properly, to medicate.
Yeah.
And
Kanye is never going to be old school Kanye ever again.
Right.
A lot of these things happened because his mother died.
Mm-hmm.
And he's unfortunately not going to get his mom back. So
Mm-hmm.
that one person that was telling him, yo, you need to reel it in, you're Kanye, like his magnet to his core, like to bring him back down to earth, it's not there anymore. So who does he really have to be like, hey buddy, reel it in a little bit, like chill out? He doesn't really have that. So he's not going to be, yes, he can get the help, but he was arrogant before all that stuff. So he's going to be arrogant after, you know what I mean? Like, the thing is, I'm a big Kanye fan. I won't even lie about it. Like,
can't lie about it.
College Dropout, that's my favorite album. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just not going to be the same. He can get the help, but I don't know. He's just not going to be the same. He can get the help, and he should get the help.
Right.
But you can't make somebody who doesn't think that there's something wrong, or who knows? We don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But I in my household, Alonzo thinks Kanye is justified in all the stuff that he was putting out, whereas I'm like, nah, I don't really think so. I think he should have reeled it in. If your wife, and she's also come out and said, like, he was doing, there's a lot of stuff and there's a lot of stuff you don't know. Right. Which is obvious. Like, we're not gonna know everything.
Who said this?
Kim Kardashian.
She should really keep that statement out of her mouth.
But this is her, this is her story. This is her truth.
Right,
this is
right.
We don't know what was going on. And if we think about the Kanye we see, imagine the Kanye they see at home. Yeah. It's probably a lot less filtered.
No filter.
Yeah. He doesn't have a PR person to deal with his wife. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I feel like Kanye could be mad. Be mad. Right. I get it. You felt like you put a lot into this relationship. But if she's like, yo, I don't want to be with you no more.
It's a dub.
The things that you're doing, women go through every day. Right. Women are going through and they're not being taken seriously. And it's just like, everybody's like, yeah, Kanye West. And that everything he's doing is 100% a red flag. And then people were like, when Pete Davidson said, "I'm in bed with your wife," after kind of being like, "Yo, let's chill out, like let's get to know each other. It doesn't have to be like this," because they also ran in the same friend groups. Kid Cudi was their link.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if you're gonna keep popping off at the mouth, you can't be mad when I'm like, "Yo, but I'm in bed with your wife." Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I would let me say this as a husband. I think that Pete should have stayed quiet. And I get that he's a comedian, and I get that, you know, Kanye was constantly coming after him. I don't even know if their divorce is final, right?
They're not legally divorced, but she is legally single. Like, I think
how does that work?
Like, I don't remember exactly the words. I read it like a month or two ago. Like when it was going on, the judge granted her like,
go ahead, you could go do you.
Basically.
I'm
sure there's a legal word for that.
But what I'm saying is, at that time that those tweets were going on, she was not legally.
I think they were.
Oh yeah. Oh, all right. Well, forget about that. All right, let's get off Kim and Kanye. All right. What's the next story we're gonna go to? We're gonna go to this gentleman's name from Rochester, the firefighter Gerard Jones.
Gerard Jones.
Okay, let's go to Gerard Jones. Hold on, let me just pull this up real quick for everybody. Here we go. Window. Where did it go? Black firefighter. Here you go. All right. So did you watch the video? Did you watch the video, or did you read the article with regards to what happened to Gerard Jones?
I read the article. I didn't see the video.
Okay. So what do you think?
Well, let's give everybody a little background.
Yeah.
So Gerard Jones was a black firefighter from Rochester, New York.
Mm-hmm.
He was on duty in June. He's a 14-year veteran firefighter, by the way, so he knows.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was on duty with this captain, and the captain convinced him and two other gentlemen to go to this party on the clock. And they went to this party, and it was basically a mockery of Juneteenth. There was a Donald Trump cutout in the yard. There was celebrating Juneteenth, a huge sign, and then buckets of KFC on like decoration, like table center kind of things.
Centerpieces. KFC centerpieces.
Yeah, there was what else was there? There was black politicians' faces staked into the ground.
Like Obama.
Yeah.
That's their favorite.
Anyway. There was that. There was Rachel, one of the Democrats, Rachel something. They had a woman dressed up as her, basically, mocking her, and almost like if you would hire a clown, they hired this woman to mock this other woman, like to dress up as her, and they were like yelling sexual content, like sexual,
remarks at her.
Yeah. So it was just disgusting. So he finally filed a claim saying that he was, I don't know the technical thing for it, but he filed a claim basically saying, like, when he went to complain and tell, like, yo, this is what happened, I don't feel comfortable
working with this
guy, they ended up putting him on another shift with him.
We're gonna handle it, and they put him right next to this guy again.
Exactly.
Oh wow. So do you feel because I asked you this way because this is the world that you're going to be owning soon.
Lovely.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Lucky me.
Do you feel and this is something else that I've discussed with people, and I've had discussions with people, and recently I was talking to a friend who's a retired NYPD detective. He knows who he is, and he was like, "Oh, racism really doesn't get my juices flowing. I'm more worried. I'm more concerned about geopolitics, essentially." So my thing is, if let's say we were able to, take America and make these, globalists lose their grip on America, right, and to shake that off, and the people of America rose up and were to start a system outside of, these monetary systems that control us and put us into debt and put us in wars, who are we left with in leadership? Do you feel like if you didn't have these problems globally or in the geopolitical realm where you have these entities and forces that are coming in trying to sort of encapsulate us all under a one world government? And I know I'm getting ahead for a lot of you people, but just stay with me.
You're getting ahead for me.
If we were to ultimately be able to take back the reins of power in America and the people take over, who is left to govern? Are we going to build out a new system with the rainbow of colors of people that are here to build a system that is more equitable to us all and serves people all?
I'm sure.
Or are we going to stay with the whole, white people are on top always and that's it?
I'm sure it would start off really nice. But just like this, like when they founded this country, I'm sure at the time for those people, this was all gravy. Like this is gonna work for years and years. And now it doesn't, because we don't live in those times anymore. I think if we were to start this new civilization, it would be really good at the end of the day. But people always have something in them, whether it's
shit.
People are shitty.
They're shitty people.
Shitty people, shitbags, whatever. Anyway, somebody is always gonna want more power. That's where like checks and balances go. All that stuff comes in.
Right.
At the end of the day, shit's gonna hit the fan at some point, and it's just not gonna work anymore.
Right.
So yes, I think it'll start off real good. Because would white people be on top? No. Sorry, but no. But eventually, somewhere down the line, it's going to turn into something that it's an ugly thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's my point. See, the point I was trying to raise to him was he was being dismissive about the point of racism. He was telling me, racism isn't even on my radar because
that's your privilege speaking.
Well,
you have some sort of privilege. Well,
he has ex-cop privilege.
There you go. That's a privilege that you can use and put out there and be like, well, this doesn't affect me because I have this privilege. And that's good for you.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean these things, these other things don't happen
exist
just because they don't happen to you.
Or you don't see it as a big deal, because essentially what he was saying is racism as a system is used to divide people. It is. It's simple. It's for simple-minded people. Yeah. If you really believe inherently that your skin color makes you like genetically better, smarter, or whatever the hell, when statistically everything shows you the opposite, you can't even go to our homelands and stand in the sun with me and not have to run in to get the SPF 5000. How are you telling me that God made you genetically superior? You know what I'm saying? So if you can't have people, if you can't conquer their conditioned minds to extract that from who they are, how are you supposed to change anything else? And like, how are you supposed to be on some greater plane of doing bigger things if you can't deal with that?
Yeah.
Right?
Unfortunately, I don't think there's ever going to be a world where this is not an issue.
Right.
Where racism, sexism, all that stuff is just not an issue. It's especially in this country.
the funny thing is that when you speak to people who feel passionately about these things, about other people, there's nothing that you can tell them. Even when they'll say, racism isn't a problem, or they shouldn't act like that, or why do they get to say the N-word, or it's all these nonsensical arguments where it's like, do you hear yourself?
And that's the problem. They don't hear themselves.
No, they do.
Or they surround themselves with people who push the same
narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's crazy to me because they're speaking from a place of like being on a pedestal. Like, oh, you lonely little people just don't understand because your brains are not built to think that way.
Oh, God, shut up.
No, Betty, no. You're just dumb.
All right, Chad, relax. Take a seat, Chad.
Salute to Tom 41. Good evening. We see you. All right. So, B, what is the next one? Is it the story with the Christian Obumseli? I mess up his name.
Christian Obumseli.
Okay. Look at ladies and gentlemen, Ms. B Chanel is really helping me out here because I'm a little tongue-tied. All right, I'm gonna pull up the tweets. Why don't you start letting the people know what we're looking at here?
Okay. So I guess the name Courtney Chaney, I think her name is Courtney Chaney, probably was not, or Courtney Taylor is her other name.
Right.
Another thing that you can't open Instagram without seeing is the OnlyFans model who killed her boyfriend.
Yeah, this is the boyfriend.
She was white and he was black.
Right.
So that happened, and then everything after that started coming out, and basically. She didn't have an OnlyFans till after she killed him, and it wasn't until I think August 12th, I want to say, that she was arrested,
formally indicted.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So a lot of people were coming out and saying, "Oh, like why should we support him?" Because old tweets came out,
Ooh,
and it was all these old tweets, basically him bashing black women.
Yeah.
And it's like, so a lot of people were criticizing that. Why should the community
come
help
to his
you,
aid? Yeah.
Or fight for you if you were bashing your own people?
Self-hatred.
Your self-hatred was.
Well, let me read some of this to the audience. I don't know if you guys can really see the tweets and make them out. It says, full of ignorant black women. Then it says, why is there always that one ghetto black boy in the back talking through our class? Get out. Then there's another one that says, the way black girls disgrace themselves on TV. Once again, I'm tired of these black girls in my government class. Okay. So how do you feel about the whole situation? Like, what is your take on the situation regarding his death? And
I don't, first of all, she murdered him.
Yeah,
let's just say that.
Yeah.
There was a long history of domestic abuse
between them.
From her to him.
Oh, her history.
Yeah, she had a long history of abuse towards him, and he didn't have any abuse, and a lot of people were coming out and backing that.
Oh wow.
So I feel like you can have your preferences. Who cares?
Right.
You don't need to bash other people for your preferences, especially
your own people.
I feel like you're really, especially your own people. I feel like you're really showing your ass at that point.
Right.
Now, that is separate from him being murdered. Like,
right.
What happened shouldn't have happened. It's not like a I got you kind of situation either. Like, what happened to you?
It's terrible.
First of all, she tried to say, he pushed me and then I chucked a knife at him from 10 feet away. Girl, what? What are you talking about right now?
She tried to float that story?
Make that add up, because I don't.
Wait, so she tried to float that she threw a knife at him and it cut his throat?
Yeah, I think it got stabbed in the chest. So it was a close range kind of situation. And if you see TMZ videos, there's her like on the floor covered in blood.
Yeah.
Blood all over the place.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't add up.
She OJ'd him.
Basically.
Wow.
So and then with the race thing, it's like, I guess I can't, I don't know. It's just, you don't have to bash somebody else because you prefer this. I hit that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's disgusting.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I feel like, and there's so many videos coming out now of like, oh, but this is what I like. Why are you mad? Because I have a preference. Have your preference. Don't put it out there. Don't, like, you can have this, and just because you like chocolate ice cream doesn't mean you have to be like, fuck strawberries. Like that, you sound bonkers.
Yeah, you look retarded.
That just doesn't make any sense to me. And it just shows your inner hatred.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your mother is black. How can you put these things out there?
No, but she's not that black girl. That's probably
his. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, let me say this.
Because at the end of the day,
she's still black.
Look who took you out.
I would say, you know, in a situation like this, reflexively, I would be like, there you go, buddy. You asked for it. And you got exactly what you wanted. Because you were championing the snow bunny. The snow bunny butchered you in your sleep. For me, I think she got up on him when he was sleeping. Because there's
the way that it played out is that they hung out. He went, like, he got key card out of the building. He was gone for like 2 hours. She made a video, came back, and then they made a video of them hanging out with their dog. Oh, it got so quiet.
Had to turn the air off.
And then they got into an argument. So there was a history of people calling the cops on them. Like when they lived in Texas, there was they were about to get evicted because of the argument. The argument was so bad. And then a video came out of her basically beating him up in an elevator.
I saw that.
And he wasn't fighting back. You know what I mean? And it's
well, let me
because at the end of the day,
wait. Hold that thought. Because I want to ask you something. I think you were about to allude to what I'm going to ask you. What do you think would have happened if he would have hauled off and gave her a Mike Tyson?
No, the narrative would have been so much. It would have.
No. I mean, in that moment, that elevator moment, do you like he would have just been like, you know what? I'm tired of this.
Victim hard. She would have played victim hard because that was what she was pushing too.
What if he would have caved her face in?
PTSD. I have this. I have that. Because when they picked her up, she was in Hawaii. She was in Hawaii on a
resort.
Yeah, because she got a whole bunch of DUIs and stuff like that, and it was because she was like, "Oh, I got PTSD. I need to go in." And I mean, yeah, you're gonna get PTSD. You killed somebody. Like, come on, girl. But it would have been a completely different story. It would have been crazy.
How bad? How much time you think he would have got if he would have like broke her? I'm talking about full on man punch to like the center of her face, like where her nose meets her forehead.
But
like,
he had to know. He had to know that if I hit this woman back, it's a wrap for me.
Well, I think that's clearly demonstrated in that video.
Yeah. And with a lot of issues when it's the reverse role. A lot of people don't talk about that. A lot of people don't talk about the man being the victim in the relationship.
Well, society and the traditional sense of and the historical sense of it all, in that kind of like, if you think about it now, that has to do with a lot of the problems that we see today in relationships between men and women, because everybody wants to talk about this traditional, non-traditional role, blah blah blah, and I don't do this, and people are confused.
Well, I can't speak on that.
No. I'm not. You can speak on it. You know why? Because to a degree, you're in a traditional relationship.
I mean, in the sense that he's a man and I'm a woman.
Well, it's 2022.
That's about it. But we're not living with the I want to be a barefoot,
barefoot and pregnant and all that. No.
That's not my goals.
But see, no, of course not. And I think that is the problem with people today.
Not that I think there's anything wrong with that.
Right,
More power to you, but not for me.
and that's the point I'm trying to make. People can't even get to a place of being in a relationship and understanding what should be happening between the two, because people today do not see that. They absolutely do not. If you turn the TV on, there's show and listen, get on TV. Mm-hmm. We need to see your life. Great.
Okay.
However, people today who are outside of that realm that's being promoted don't have any examples. Let me stop the show for 1 second. Let me say this, because I'm speaking about something that just brought up something I just experienced recently. So I want to send a rest in peace and to the whole Gutierrez family. And I know I forgot his last name, but my boy who I grew up with, his older brother Pete, who was a super impactful person in our lives growing up. And he was such a gentleman. He was an amazing father and just an all-around great guy, had passed away on Monday. But the reason why I brought his name up right now, besides, paying homage and respect to him, is I spoke to his wife, and this is all respectfully. They were about to celebrate being married 50 years. And the reason why I bring it up is because I don't think anybody today, young people today, have that example to look at. They don't have gentlemen being pushed in front of them like the way Pete lived his life. He was with one woman. He had 3 kids with her. There was never no scandal, baby mama, side chick, nothing. It was him and her. Now, if you people want to run around and do what you do, listen, nothing good's going to come from it. I'm sorry. You're going to end up alone with a little dog and a dresser full of toys. That's what's going to happen to you. And dudes are going to be alone, trying to be in the club chasing down young girls that you can't keep up with. You're gonna look ridiculous. But anyway, let's get back to the point. They had a long history of domestic abuse. She should have been put in jail a long time ago. And the reason why she wasn't put in jail is because of them tears.
Yeah, and he didn't press any charges or anything like that.
Listen, the video evidence was there. He shouldn't have had to have pressed any charges because that happens in the reverse as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She should be, right now as it stands, she should be under the jail. I don't even know what the holdup is.
Yeah.
Like, irregardless of the fact that he was saying the things that he did, it's an irony and a kick to him of who he was as a human. And a lot of people, a lot of black people specifically, are like, talking all that shit. Look what happened to you, you know? But I think that these two things aren't mutually exclusive. I think that it's sad what happened to him.
Yeah.
But they should still stand up and help his family or support his family in this time.
The community should help him.
I kind of do. I kind of do. We see it on the other side all the time. Well, he wasn't a bad guy. You know, they interview people and they're like, oh, you didn't know him like I knew him. The hell out of here, that child molesting ass motherfucker. He deserves where he went. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, you know, it's sad that he had to feel that way and look out into the world that way and didn't see the reflection of his mother or sister or anybody in his family that he was speaking to, because I know that's where he was coming from. I'm sure he was like, yeah, but they're not like that. So it's a sad situation. I hope she goes to jail forever. Facts. What's our next story, Ms. B. Chanel? We have, oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. All right. I think I'm up right now. So I want to bring up something that sort of ties into what we were speaking to earlier. I don't want to bore everybody with this, so I left it for last. A gentleman, an author by the name of Salman Rushdie. If you remember or have any sort of grasp, Salman Rushdie wrote a book called The Satanic Verses. And the Satanic Verses sort of depicted the Muslim religion in a very negative light. And at the time of the release of the book, the Ayatollah, I believe the Ayatollah Khomeini, put out a $3 million bounty on his head.
Damn.
For life.
For life?
For, yo, this money is sitting here for whoever kills him forever until he's dead. So recently he was at a lecture. He was speaking at a lecture, and a gentleman ran up and stabbed him like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You know, he lost his eye. He's in critical condition. And it speaks to what we were talking about before. When you were saying, you know, fans are a little overzealous.
Yeah.
So I think this is the perfect opportunity to sort of dive into that really quickly as well. I think that people should be able to say the things that they want to say, whether we disagree with them or not, even if we don't like what they're saying. And I think we've lost that because of social media.
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
Where, yes.
Okay.
Say whatever you want to say.
Right.
But just like with anything, you know, your words, they cause reactions. People can, just like you have the right to say what you want to say, people have the right to react. And I'm not saying violence is the first place to go. That's not what I'm saying.
Well,
what I'm saying is just know that if you put yourself out there or you say certain things, people have the right to say stuff back.
Right.
Just like, you know, people could comment things on this video and be like, I don't fucking agree with you, you dumb idiot. You know what I mean? Like that's what you get. That's not what you get, but that's one of the consequences of putting yourself out there. Mm-hmm. with anything. You see it on TikTok all the time. You see it on Instagram. You see it with these fans that you just see it. It's just unfortunately a part of life. Just like I said, people are shitbags. Yeah. That's where that comes from. People can do what they want because you said what you want. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is as humans, not even as our society. Mm-hmm. As humans, that's just how we are.
Right. I think that has become amplified and it's become a little bit more ridiculous, I guess is what I'm saying. Because if you think about it, 30 and 40 and 50 and 60 years ago, we did not have social media. right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
And I think that social media has really given people this false understanding that they're connected to these people that they'll never see outside of a concert
Oh, 100%.
or some sort of venue that they have to pay to gain access, right?
Yeah.
So this is 24/7,
Mhm.
right? 24/7, this is in your hand. 24/7, you're hanging on every word.
Yeah.
It's a bit obsessive,
Yeah.
right? So I guess my overall point is, like I said with the whole Twitter thing, people are shit.
Yeah.
They're just, there's a lot of, I'm sorry, there's just a lot of dumb people in this world. They just are. There's a lot of dumb people in this world. There's an overwhelming majority of dumb people in this world. I'm talking about a good 40, 50, 60, like millions of people
It's a
that are
high
just,
percentage.
yeah, it's up there, right? So you have these people walking around with these devices and hanging on people's every word,
Yeah.
right? So now you hit enter and people go crazy.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, even though it's in digital, it's a digital mob that's been incited. What happens in a mob, when they have a mob in the street, mob mentality takes over. You just, one right person says the wrong thing and that's it, it's on fire.
Yeah.
So I think that's the same thing with social media, right? So these people, they become incensed because somebody says something that they don't agree with. Like, let me put it to you this way. Donald Trump says all sorts of dumb shit.
Yeah.
Insensitive, lies. Like, you can take your pick.
Yeah.
Do I want to punch Donald Trump in the face? Probably not. I really don't care. He walks around with a diaper. Like, I really don't care about that guy.
That's true. It's also about how much
you're invested.
Yeah, it definitely has a lot to do with it too. Because do I think he's a dick? 100%.
Yeah.
Do I I feel, I have more anger towards the people whose batteries he put in their backs.
Right.
That's who I have. I want to punch those people in the face. But Donald Trump, you look like you stink. Like, come on.
And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
He says things to stupid people and they just go nuts. And it's like, listen.
Because he's saying what they are thinking. And him saying it is like, oh, he said it, I could say it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is.
Right. I wish people, I guess is what I'm saying. I wish people would take more care of the things, not only that they consume, but they're led to believe. And we need to step back and start being, you can say what you want.
Yeah.
But it doesn't give anybody the right to then go and stab you like the Christmas Benil because they don't like what you said.
Violence is never, you shouldn't hit people. That should just be like,
I disagree. Sometimes you need to hit people. No.
Like, as an adult, you shouldn't be hitting anybody else.
Right.
Whether you're in a relationship, whether you're Donald Trump, you shouldn't hit people. That's not okay.
Okay.
Grown men shouldn't hit grown men. Like, I guess he did it because all that damn money.
You think so?
Like, yeah.
Well, it came out that he was like, I didn't know anything about that bounty, but now that you said that,
oh shit.
Well, he's still alive, so
yeah,
no money for you.
Yeah, I know he has like a ton of like nerve damage in his arm and stuff, and has been walking around with like tons of bodyguards for the longest time. I didn't know. I knew him because I work in a bookstore.
Right.
That's how I knew him.
Right.
But I didn't know like this. Like, he was setting it off like this.
Well, that's the thing. See, when it happened, it was a huge deal. It was in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you weren't born. Yeah, you weren't born.
He's written books since then.
No, yeah.
I sell them.
but the one that set it off was Satanic Verses. Yeah.
Interesting.
And the thing about it is it's sad because he should be able to write that book.
That's what I was just about to say. Books are you can write anything in a book. Like, just yeah, you can. You can,
but when it comes, and this is
but
an
that's
interesting
the same thing with the religion. Like,
and I'm glad you said that. This is an interesting talk about. This is an interesting segue to talk about power.
Yeah.
And what it means to control people, right?
Yeah.
So, Sam said 1988. The bounty was around before the attacker was even. Yes, he was. Yeah, we were talking about that, Sam. Thank you for that. So, when you wield power and you want to control people, you mitigate things that can make them come out of the bubble, right? So if I'm a politician and I want people to hang on my every word, I gotta stop them from getting any information from anywhere else. And how do I do that? I start making up stories and saying things that ain't true about those people that could probably tell the truth about me. And it's the same thing with a book. You know, in Nazi Germany, they took all the books. They were burning all the books. When we went to Iraq, we were burning down museums and you know, libraries and things of that nature. So if you mitigate people's access to information, what do they have? Almost like living in a dictatorship, like Kim Jong, whatever the hell his name is in North Korea. You know, those people think that his father shot 11 holes in one in his first game of golf. Do you know what that is? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They believe he invented the burrito.
Oh, come on.
And I'm not even joking. They believe that. But if you have, and this is what I'm saying, Ms. Chanel, if you have no access to any other information and I'm your only source,
yeah,
I can make you believe anything. And this is why people like the Ayatollah, where in their religion, they believe if you say anything against the prophet, you should be killed. Like it's, you know, but those are extremes.
Yeah.
You know,
but that's with everything. Everything has some sort of extreme. That's like what I was saying earlier.
Right.
There's always going to be some bad in literally everything.
Especially shit humans.
Especially shitbag humans. Unfortunately, we don't live in a world where it could be like, well, this is what I believe, so I'm right. How the fuck do you know? How do you know?
I think that people have been reduced to acting like children. Nobody, like, if I don't agree with you, let's talk, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna get mad. I'm gonna get mad. I'll probably get a little heated, whatever. We'll talk about it. But at the end of it, do I want to punch you in your face?
Sometimes. I mean, you know, I feel like having a conversation, if you can get one person to even kind of admit that you're right with just like the slight, it doesn't even have to be your whole big picture, just a little piece.
You should be able to take that and go home.
Won.
Oh, you feel like it?
I won. I won this argument.
Well, I think overall the point with people today is, like I said, they've all been reduced to acting like children, and you can't have a civil discussion without it imploding or us being disconnected. I'm not talking to you no more. Whatever. Yeah. Right. You damn liberal or whatever that, you know, whatever the dumb comments they fucking make.
I'm a libtard. So.
Yeah. Libtard. So when you have that kind of environment like we have now, it's dangerous.
The thing is, we were always going to get to this point at some point.
Of course.
Just like in 20-something years, whatever years from now, it's going to be different. And something awful is going to be happening then too. So it's just because it wasn't happening back then, you know, we didn't have the technology we have now. So it's just a different problem unraveling itself differently. Now we just have social media. It's just a lot easier access. In a couple of years, whatever, 50, 100 years from now is going to be different. So different problems, different unraveling in some sort of way, whether it's a chip in our head or goggles or whatever the case may be, it's going to be something. There's just always going to be a problem. It really is just, how do you react to it? Right. How do you not lose yourself in these issues that are happening every day? Like sometimes I have to stop myself from doom scrolling. I'm a doom scroller hard, where it's just like, I need to see every awful thing happening right now. The world's going to end. Aliens are coming. Something's going to crash into Earth tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like I have to take a step back for my own mental health and be like, this is not good for me. This is not good for me to consume so much. Unfortunately, it's easy. It's right at my fingertips. But I have to do my part and not be so consumed in it.
Right.
And I think all people should. Now, am I going to put my phone down for weeks at a time? No, it's unrealistic. I know my boundaries, and that ain't one of them. You know what I mean? But it's all about how I take it in and what I do with that information.
Right.
Do I go out into the world and spew my beliefs at people? Sometimes.
Be on the corner with the speaker like you go to
I'm not that
Pentecostal
crazy.
church.
I'm not that crazy. I'm not knocking on people's door and being like, defund the police. You know what I mean? Like that's not realistic. Now, if I
Right.
can talk to you and you can just for a second see from my side of it,
Mhm.
then I feel like I did something.
Feel like you won.
I feel like I won.
Small
But
victories.
I know you're not going to go out in the world, and it's just like you said. What do you do with this little bit of power that you have?
Mhm.
I like to have a conversation with people. I like to educate people on my view of things. And
Mhm.
hey, I'll take in some of your stuff. Will I
Right.
always agree with it? No. But the fact I'm not going to go and stab you in the face for it.
Right.
It's just all about what you do with the information you have and how you treat people at the end of the day. I try to be nicer to people.
Mhm.
Was I always that way? No. You know what I mean? Like, I'm realistic about it. I'm now an adult and didn't live in Florida. I didn't live in New York for 5 years. So I say hello to people now. So it's a little different. But, it really is about what you do with the information you have. And it doesn't have to be a fight. It doesn't have to be, well, I'm not talking to you because of this. Now, if you say things that are hurtful
Mhm.
and things that are just actively you're being a shit person,
Mhm.
then yes, we don't need to talk to each other
Right.
because you now have shown your ass.
Right.
I
And it
don't.
stinks.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So, but that's my choice.
Right.
Just like it's your choice to keep talking to me, it's my choice to ignore you. We don't have to have these conversations, but we kind of need to know where we stand with each other.
Right.
It really is just all about how you deal with the information you have.
Well, what I'd like to say to that, you were making a point earlier about freedom of speech, but not freedom of consequences. But there's a huge difference between somebody saying, yelling out fire in a movie theater and getting arrested for that because that's retarded, and somebody just, you might be at a parade or protest that you're fighting for some cause or whatever, and somebody's in your face going, Trump, 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 go back to your country, speak English.
The thing is, it's never like that.
What do you mean?
It's never, I guess I'm going to show my political views here. It's never, I'm just going to yell in your face my opinion. It's no, I'm going to get aggressive. I'm going to get as close as possible to you. So you have to react. And then look, you hit me first. You know what I mean? It's never like.
You can't control yourself, you savage. Look at them. You see how they are? All I was doing was expressing my beliefs, and this savage just hit me.
Yeah, because you didn't go like this. You fucking hit me. You know what I mean? Like it. I don't know. Go on.
I think but that's what I mean. You should be able to say what you believe. You should always be able to speak your beliefs. But when it's about wielding power, people will do and say things that'll take you to the edge. And I just think we're in a very, very volatile space right now. We had this guy attack the FBI. I don't know if you heard about this, but he went over there with a gun, I think an AR-15 and a nail gun, and ended up dead.
A nail gun?
Yeah, this guy's been watching too many fucking 80s movies. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that everything that's going on right now in the world, people are being riled up to a point that they want to be out in the street killing each other. And they really don't understand what that kind of violence is going to do.
Yeah.
Right? And not only that, getting back to my friend's point about geopolitics, what's going on around the world globally is causing a strain on everybody. And they still believe that these people that are in control really care about them. And they're putting us in a very bad space. Mm-hmm. But, as long as you got a game show host saying that, this is unfair and all this extra bullshit, they're going to just keep on. But whatever. They're fucking retarded. But all that to say, I hope Salman Rushdie has a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
I think it's very unfair what happened to him. So wish you well, brother. Godspeed. I'm gonna run this last going along the line of politics. We kind of like dipped our toe in it. But I'm gonna play this for you, and I want you to tell me what you think. Because right now, you know who Sarah Palin is, right?
Yeah.
Of course you know who Sarah Palin is. So Sarah Palin has dipped her foot back in the political arena. She's running for office in Alaska, right? So first of all, it says a lot, to me at least, that this woman could actually hold office again. Because she's excuse me, she's a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, she is.
I mean, have you seen the president? Like,
no, listen. Well, let's stick to this idiot. For me, these people, men wanted to have sex with her and the women wanted to be her. And that's what made her popular. No. Listen, that's not my culture. That's not our culture. I don't know nothing about that, but it's just the truth. So I'm going to share this video with the audience real quick before this is going to be our last portion of Chop It Up. Let me just play this for you and you guys tell me what you think.
They're our next door neighbors, and you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
Well, explain to me why that enhances your foreign policy credentials.
Well, it certainly does, because our next door neighbors are foreign countries.
What newspapers and magazines did you regularly read before you were tapped for this to stay informed and to understand?
I've read most of them, again, with a great appreciation for the press, for the media.
Specifically, I'm curious that you...
all of them, any of them. Are struggling under the weight of the wrong mortgage.
They're trying to tell her to talk louder. She thinks they're protesting her.
They're chanting your name, you idiot.
I would hope at least that those protesters have the courage and the honor of thanking our veterans for giving them the right to protest.
Now her husband comes over and he's like, listen, pendeja, they're telling you to talk louder. They can't hear you, you dumbass.
Good, really. We've got to start rating and spending. We have got to jumpstart these energy projects. We've got to start rating and spending. We have got to...
She wrote notes on her.
I've been heard about it speeches since I was in like 2nd grade.
When you have a 72-year-old running mate, is that a kind of a risky thing to say, insinuating that Joe Biden's been around a while?
Oh, no, it's nothing negative at all.
Yeah, you gotta...
I feel like...
How does she make a comeback? Is my question. Like
she just waited and baited her time.
Dude, it's been like almost 10 years, probably longer. Like
longer.
So how does that woman make a comeback? Like who?
It's the same thing. You voice things that other people are thinking. If you say the right, it's like that Family Guy episode where Lois is running for mayor, and she just saying keywords, and they're like, yeah, and she's
9/11. I remember that episode.
Yeah, because people are fucking stupid.
When I saw,
it is all about keywords, because look at Trump. He knows like 4 words and he just uses them repeatedly, and they're like, fuck yeah, look at him, he's a genius.
People tell me that he's playing 3D chess. I cannot. When people say that to me with a straight face, I'm like, how am I friends with you? Like, you're fucking retarded. 3D chess. This guy can't even play hopscotch. What are you fucking talking about? This guy eats shit food. Have you seen him without his makeup?
He looks like a...
He looks like
ball sack. like a bald cat.
Yo, he looks like the cat that they left out in the storm.
Like mad wrinkly.
Yo, it's just terrible. And I'm like, yo, do you realize that this guy goes through all these problems and puts on this whole thing with his hair and makeup? And
I heard he got a new wig.
You got a new wig?
I heard. Yeah.
After seeing, I heard about it because I was looking at a video on my phone that Sarah Palin was in the race to hold an office in Alaska again. I was just like,
I feel like there should be certain criterias, and I'm sure there are. I don't really know much about politics. I don't like to speak on things I don't know about.
What do you mean criteria? Like have a degree, have a master's degree, have a
in this, and do this. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like that. Same thing with like gun laws. They should make them stricter, but that's a different topic for a different day. And it should be like you have to hit these certain points before you can go out and say stupid shit like this. Like, well, which newspapers do you like? All of them. Which one do you read? You know them.
What movie was that? Coming to America. Whatever you like.
Yeah. Oh. Whatever gets me out there, that's what I like.
Yeah. Well, I think a criteria. I definitely wouldn't base it on education, because there are people that have degrees that couldn't change a fucking light bulb.
That's fair.
Right.
That's fair.
I think you know.
They should have like a common sense test and then like a a book test.
Oh shit.
Common sense ain't so common.
It's not, and you can't buy that shit at the store.
Nope.
All right. First off, I wanna thank everybody for joining us tonight, and I want to thank my special co-host, Miss B. Chanel, who was giving of her time and came in and dealt with me, being given the old man's perspective today. But I thank you so much. I hope you had a good time.
I had a great time.
You had a great time?
Yeah.
Will I be able to coax you into doing another episode at some point?
Definitely.
Wonderful. I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We'll be back Sunday. We have a special guest coming on Sunday, Mr. Geneseo Lewis from California. Musician, artist, Grammy nominated. A lot of history there. You're going to see the promo go up. Make sure you tune in Sunday at 7 p.m. And it's going to be a good one. So I hope to see you all there. And thank you for joining us. And again, thanks to my special co-host, Miss B. Chanel, for giving up her time right now. She's giving me the resting B face right now. I had a great time. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you Sunday.